Alright guys, as I mentioned in a previous video, I'm going to try to show you guys how to take the left side cover off. I'll probably do the right side cover as well because I'm here on an 86 Virago, because if you're like me, you're probably watching this video because you searched the internet and you came up on a bunch of videos on how to take off the left side cover on an 84 or 81 to 84 I think it is, the early models, and none of them have this cover here, and they got a slightly different layout, and someone probably said, oh, just pop off the left cover, and it's harder than you think. So first, warm up the bike, get your oil nice and warm, and then down here you've got a bolt that you have to undo to drain your oil so that you can get to the next steps. I got all kinds of goop under here, crappage. Okay, so I'm just going to drain the oil there, and then I'll come back, and once the oil's all out and the bike has cooled off a little bit, we'll get to taking it apart. Okay, we're back. Drained out the oil, and I've loosened off all the nuts and bolts and stuff just to make the video easier. I've also put up a tripod here to try to help make things easier, but first thing, list of tools that we need. We have a 10 mil wrench or socket, whichever you prefer, a 12 mil socket, a little Phillips screwdriver, a couple Allen keys. I can't remember which size this is off the top of my head. I'll try to post it below. I think it's a 6, but I'm not sure. And then we also have this guy, the Hex or whatever it's called. It's a T30. And that's the secret bolt that's going to give everyone trouble because it's a pain in the ass. Anyway. So the first things we got to do is our clutch cable here. See if I can tilt this up a little bit more. That's a little better. Okay, clutch cable coming down here. We got to remove that. So there's 2 bolts on this piece here. It's your Allen key. Like I said, I've already loosened everything off. Make sure you keep all your bolts and stuff. You'll see here I have a box. I put loose bits in here. Put my tools out of the way too. And if you notice on top, I drew the rough shape of what we're dealing with. You got your little dog bone thing, right? So each time you remove a bolt, if you put it in, that glares, you know what I mean. If you put the bolt in the right hole for the on the box there, when you go to put it all back together, you have a map of what goes where, so you're not guessing which bolts were long or short. Anyway, the clutch cable, I've already loosened it off at the handlebars to make this part easy. I'm sure you know how to do that much. But then there's a little tab on the inside here, which you have to use a screwdriver and bend it out so that you can get this cable detached, and it just pushes back up through the hole, and you can set that out of your way somewhere so you have access to this. Then inside here, this is your clutch adjustment. There's a little nut here, you see turning, and the screw. You've got to loosen that off because we got to take off this whole piece here. Watch out for the spring, make sure you keep the spring, and then we'll set all that in our little parts box so we don't lose anything. there is a nut and a washer. The screw stays in there because it goes through the engine and pushes on the push rod on the other side. So that's it. You also want to take this. This is the 10 mil. It's your shifter linkage. You'll probably have to disconnect everything. Some of your bikes might be different than mine. I've already done some chopping on this. I built forward controls here. That's part of it. I built forward controls. So there's usually the big bracket stuff here. You'll probably have to pop off some extra stuff. I don't have that hooked up anymore to show you, but it's pretty simple. There's a bolt, a couple bolts around. Unbolt it all and you're good to go. So remove your shift linkage, whatever is hooked up over here, and then pick any one and just go around the engine. There we go. Go around the case, removing bolts, and as you remove them, put them in the corresponding hole that you drew on your box. Now this one that I'm doing right here and the one next to it, these two actually hold the cover on as well as this bracket which holds your cable. So make sure you keep that bracket. Mosquitoes. Now, when you get to this section, there's a nut here. But there's also one hidden in this little hole here. I think you can probably see it. If you're not looking for it, you might miss that one, and when you go to pull off the cover, there'll be some resistance. So check that spot there. Now this next one down, this one here actually has a little clip on it that you want to make sure you don't lose. This clip holds all your wires out of the way, so make sure you keep track of that. Make sure you keep track of what wires are clipped in there. On my little box, actually, I drew these wires coming down, and then I wrote down there's a wire clip so I don't forget it. But then just keep going around, removing the rest of them. Now, here, on the back side of your starter, there's this little cup thing. This is held on by two probably very badly stripped off Phillips screws. Mine only actually has one on this side. This one was missing. So I replaced it, one of them, with this Allen head. But I gotta switch them all over to Allen heads. Make sure you take those off and pull this out of the way so that you can get to it. Sorry about the filming. There. Remove this cover, and this is where you find the tricky bits to this situation that took me a long time to figure this part out. So you take this cover off, there's a gasket, make sure you keep that. Take a look at everything, make sure nothing's damaged or broken there. Now, this is the part of the bike that really messed me up. It's not really mentioned anywhere. You do have to undo these two nuts, which allows you to separate it from the starter. But there's also this hex, which is the one I pointed out in the beginning. If I got it, the right one. Yeah. So that's the T30. you have to remove this. Otherwise it holds on to everything behind this plate, and when you jiggle and pull on this cover, it pulls on your starter clutch system, disengages all the gears, and they fall way down here, and you have to figure out what goes where. Now on top of that, there's also a secret little, this is just looking underneath, so you got the cover, and underneath, right here, you got this Allen bolt that pokes up. It acts as the fulcrum point for this pivot spring. That also holds on to everything, so make sure you move those couple things, which I haven't loosened off yet. Otherwise, they also hold on to all of the things on the inside. Now, when this comes out, you gotta make sure you keep track of the way it goes in. This little piece, this connects to one of the gears in your clutch, or your choke. All it is probably pressure there, and pull this out and keep track of which way it goes. You can see it's kind of got a tapered end. It's pretty easy when you put it back because this screw fits flush inside there, so you'll look for that. So that all comes out, and then this whole piece will come out, but you gotta watch the connection here. Make sure you're watching how it comes out, and there's a little lip that this slides off of right there. And now when I keep it like this, and when I put it on my box, I put it just like that, so that's still facing the same way it comes off the bike. Now everything should be loose. Your whole starter piece is free to move off of there. Go around, make sure you got all your bolts, all the Allens, all the nuts. Double check, there should be 13 plus a few bits. And then, if you're lucky and all is well, you should be able to just pop it off. Now, if you're struggling with it, try not to jiggle too much, because like I said, there's gears back here and they may fall off like they did to me the first time. So just gently pull inside. And now you're done. And I didn't bring a box or anything to set down